Have you ever chased a fleeting happiness, only for it to slip through your fingers like water? We all yearn for a joy that is deep, lasting, and truly fulfilling. But what if the secret to this profound happiness isn't found in acquiring more for ourselves, but in a simple, yet radical shift of heart? A shift that ancient wisdom has pointed towards for millennia, promising not just fleeting pleasure, but a resilient and radiant inner peace. We often believe our happiness is a closely guarded treasure, one that diminishes if shared or if others find their own. This common assumption can lead us down a lonely path, constantly comparing, competing, and feeling a subtle lack even amidst plenty. But what if this perspective, this constant guarding of our own joy, is precisely what keeps us from experiencing its deepest expressions? Today, we explore a timeless insight, one championed by the Buddha, a beacon of wisdom whose teachings have guided millions towards genuine contentment. It's a path that turns conventional thinking on its head. It suggests that the key to unlocking your deep happiness lies not in focusing inward in a selfish way, but in extending outwards, in sincerely wishing others well. Imagine your heart as a garden. For many of us, unintentionally, this garden becomes overgrown with the weeds of comparison, envy, or subtle resentment. When we see others succeed or find joy, a shadow can fall upon our own spirit. This isn't a failing, it's a common human experience, a tangle of emotions we can learn to gently clear. The Buddha taught that these negative states are like inner fires that consume our own peace. Jealousy, for instance, doesn't diminish the other person. It burns the one who feels it. When we wish ill, or even just passively feel negativity towards another, we are unknowingly clouding our own inner sky, making it harder for the sun of happiness to shine through. So what is this transformative practice of wishing others well? In Pali, an ancient language of Buddhist scriptures, it's called Metta, often translated as loving kindness or goodwill. It's not about forcing an artificial emotion, but about a gentle, sincere aspiration for the well-being of others. It's an active cultivation of warmth and openness. Think of it as an intentional shift in your internal radio frequency. Instead of tuning into stations of criticism or indifference, you consciously select the frequency of goodwill. May they be happy, may they be healthy, may they be free from suffering. This simple, silent wish, directed towards others, begins to change your inner landscape profoundly. Why is this so powerful? Firstly, wishing others well directly counteracts the self-centeredness that often breeds discontent. Our focus naturally expands beyond our own worries and desires. When we genuinely wish for another's happiness, our own sense of self, with all its anxieties, begins to feel a little lighter, a little less burdened. Secondly, it dissolves the illusion of separation. We are far more interconnected than we often realize. The joy of another, when met with our goodwill, can resonate within us. The suffering of another, met with our compassion, can soften our hearts and remind us of our shared humanity. Wishing well builds bridges, not walls. Consider the mind as a pond. Negative thoughts towards others, resentment, envy, irritation, are like stones thrown into this pond, creating ripples that disturb its stillness and clarity. Wishing others well is like allowing the pond to settle, or even like gently adding clear, pure water, restoring its reflective calm. The Buddha emphasized that cultivating metta is a practice, like strengthening a muscle. It might feel unnatural or difficult at first, especially towards those with whom we have friction. But like any skill, it grows with consistent, gentle effort. The beauty is that even the smallest attempt begins to yield inner fruit. When you wish someone well, you are not necessarily endorsing their actions or agreeing with them. You are simply acknowledging their inherent wish to be happy, just like you, and aspiring for their freedom from suffering. This distinction is crucial. It allows compassion to flow even in challenging circumstances. This practice purifies the heart. Imagine clearing away debris from a clouded lens. As you practice wishing well, the lens through which you see the world and yourself becomes clearer. You start to notice more good, feel more open, and experience a natural upwelling of joy that isn't dependent on external validation. A heart filled with goodwill is a spacious heart. It has room for joy, for peace, for connection. A heart constricted by negativity feels tight, anxious, and isolated. Wishing others well is an act of profound self-liberation, expanding your own capacity to experience the fullness of life. Let's explore a common scenario. Someone receives a promotion you hoped for or shares news of great success. The old pattern might be a pang of envy, a feeling of being less than. This is where the practice comes in. Pause, take a breath, and silently, genuinely wish them joy in their success. May you enjoy this achievement. May it bring you happiness. Notice what happens within you when you do this. The sting of envy often lessens. A subtle warmth might replace it. You haven't lost anything. In fact, you've gained a measure of inner peace and generosity. You've chosen freedom over the prison of comparison. This is a profound victory for your own well-being. The Buddha taught that our thoughts shape our reality. If we consistently cultivate thoughts of goodwill, our inner environment becomes more hospitable to happiness. It's like tending a garden. By planting flowers of kindness, we naturally leave less room for the weeds of negativity to take root and flourish. This practice isn't about becoming a saint overnight. It's about small, consistent shifts. Perhaps you start with someone you already love and find it easy to wish well for a child, a pet, a dear friend. Feel the warmth of that genuine wish. Let it fill you. Then you can gradually expand your circle of goodwill. Include neutral people, someone you pass on the street, a cashier at a store. May you be well. May you be happy. These small, silent offerings of kindness cost nothing, yet they enrich the giver immeasurably. The most challenging, yet often most transformative, step is to extend these wishes to those with whom you have difficulty. It's not about condoning harmful behavior, but about wishing for their release from the suffering that often fuels such behavior. May you too find peace. May you be free from the causes of your suffering. This step is purely for your benefit. Holding on to anger or resentment is like grasping a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else. You are the one who gets burned. Wishing even difficult people well helps to release that burning coal from your own hand, freeing you from its pain. The Buddha's teachings on compassion and interconnectedness are radical. He saw that all beings, without exception, desire happiness and wish to avoid suffering. By aligning our own hearts with this universal wish, for everyone, we tap into a profound source of joy that is independent of our personal circumstances. Think of the sun. It shines its light on everyone and everything without discrimination, the beautiful flower and the jagged rock, the saint and the sinner. Cultivating goodwill is like developing this sun-like quality within your own heart, radiating warmth and light impartially. This impartiality is a hallmark of deep wisdom. When you wish others well, you are actively creating positive mental imprints. Neuroscientists speak of neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to change based on experience. By repeatedly practicing goodwill, you are literally rewiring your brain for more happiness, empathy, and peace. You are building pathways to joy. This practice also enhances your relationships. When your default inner stance towards others is one of goodwill, it naturally softens your interactions. People may sense this warmth, even if it's unspoken. It creates an atmosphere of trust and openness, reducing conflict and fostering deeper connections. Don't underestimate the power of these silent wishes. Your inner state has a subtle but profound impact on the energy you bring to every encounter, every situation. A heart cultivated in goodwill radiates a quiet strength and serenity that can positively influence your environment and the people around you. What if you're having a bad day? What if you are the one struggling? The beauty of this practice is that it includes wishing yourself well too. May I be happy. May I be free from suffering. In fact, for many, this is the essential starting point. Self-compassion is the foundation upon which compassion for others is built. If you find it hard to wish yourself well, try to see yourself as a child, full of innocence and vulnerability. Extend kindness to that inner child. This can soften the heart and make it easier to accept your own worthiness of happiness, which then makes it easier to wish well for others. Remember, the goal isn't to suppress negative feelings when they arise. It's to meet them with awareness and then gently, intentionally pivot towards goodwill. It's about choosing which seeds to water in the garden of your mind. Acknowledge the weed, then consciously nurture the flower. The happiness that comes from wishing others well is not a fleeting, excitable joy. It's a deeper, more stable sense of contentment, resilience, and connection. It's a quiet hum of well-being that underlies your daily experience, independent of the ups and downs of life. This is the deep happiness the Buddha spoke of. Consider the alternative, a life lived in constant comparison, subtle resentment, or indifference to the well-being of others. Such a life, even if materially successful, often carries an undercurrent of dissatisfaction, a feeling that something is missing. This practice of goodwill fills that void from the inside out. Wishing others well helps you to appreciate what you already have. When you're focused on the good you wish for others, you become more aware of the good in your own life. Gratitude naturally arises alongside goodwill, and gratitude is a powerful amplifier of happiness. This practice is not passive. It is an active engagement with your own mind and heart. It is a choice, moment by moment, to cultivate the conditions for your own deep and lasting happiness by extending that wish to all beings. It is an empowering act of inner transformation. Imagine a world where more people actively practiced wishing others well. Envy would lessen, conflicts would soften, and a greater sense of shared humanity would flourish. Your personal practice contributes to this larger wave of positive change, starting with the peace you cultivate within yourself. The Buddha's path is one of wisdom and compassion. Wishing others well is a beautiful embodiment of both. It is wise because it leads to your own liberation from suffering. It is compassionate because it extends care and kindness to all. These two wings, wisdom and compassion, allow the heart to soar. This doesn't mean you become a doormat or ignore injustice. True compassion is not weakness. It is rooted in strength and clarity. You can still have boundaries, speak truth, and work for a better world, all while holding an underlying wish for the well-being of everyone involved, even those with whom you disagree. The feeling of deep happiness that arises from this practice is often described as sympathetic joy or mudita, delighting in the happiness of others without any trace of envy. This is considered one of the divine abodes or highest emotional states in Buddhist psychology, a truly beautiful state of being. How can you begin to weave this into your daily life? Start small. Perhaps during your morning commute, silently wish well for the people you see. May you have a good day. May you be safe. May you find peace. Notice any resistance, any warmth, any shift within you. Another opportunity. When you hear good news from someone, even a stranger online, make it a point to pause and genuinely wish them continued joy. Resist the urge to compare or dismiss. Instead, use it as a chance to cultivate mudita, sympathetic joy. Feel the expansiveness it brings. When you encounter difficult news or witness suffering, let your wish be for freedom from that suffering. May they be free from this pain. May they find strength. May they find peace. This compassionate wish connects you to our shared vulnerability and our shared capacity for resilience. Remember, this is not about achieving perfection. There will be days when it feels easy and days when it feels incredibly hard. Be gentle with yourself. The intention itself is powerful. Every small act of wishing well is a step towards a brighter inner world. The Buddha often used the metaphor of a clear, deep lake. Unskillful thoughts and emotions are like mud stirred up from the bottom, clouding the water. Practices like Metta are like allowing the mud to settle, revealing the lake's natural clarity and profound stillness. This inner clarity allows wisdom to arise. When your mind is not clouded by negativity towards others, you see situations more clearly, make better decisions, and respond to life's challenges with greater poise and understanding. Your happiness becomes less reactive and more self-generated. The practice of wishing others well is a gift you give primarily to yourself. While it may benefit others in subtle ways, its most immediate and profound impact is on your own heart and mind, transforming your inner experience from one of constriction and lack to one of expansiveness and joy. This isn't just a nice idea, it's a practical tool for emotional resilience. When faced with life's inevitable difficulties, criticism, disappointment, loss, a heart cultivated in goodwill is better equipped to navigate these storms without being capsized by negativity. It has an inner anchor of peace. Consider how much energy is consumed by ruminating on slights, perceived injustices, or comparing ourselves to others. Wishing well redirects this precious mental energy towards something positive and uplifting, freeing up resources for creativity, joy, and purposeful action. The Buddha taught that hatred never ceases by hatred but by love alone. This is an eternal law. When you meet inner or outer negativity with goodwill, you are applying this profound law. You are choosing love as your response, and love has the power to heal and transform. Don't worry about whether the other person deserves your goodwill. This practice is not about them. It's about cultivating your inner qualities. The sun shines on all. Let your goodwill be as impartial, a reflection of your own growing capacity for unconditional positive regard. As you practice, you may notice a shift in your perception of others. You start to see their humanity more clearly, their own struggles, their own wish for happiness. This empathetic shift is a natural outcome of consistently wishing them well, fostering a deeper sense of connection. This deep happiness is not contingent on external circumstances aligning perfectly. It is an inner resource, a wellspring of peace that you can learn to access regardless of what life throws your way. It is the joy of a heart that is open, kind, and free. The Buddha's invitation is to come and see for yourself. Ehipasiko. Don't just take these words on faith. Experiment with this practice. Observe its effects on your own mind, your emotions, your sense of well-being. Be your own laboratory for happiness. You might start by dedicating just 5 minutes each day to this practice. Find a quiet spot, settle your mind, and begin by wishing yourself well. Then, gradually extend those wishes to loved ones, neutral people, and eventually, even those you find challenging. Notice the subtle shifts. A little less tension in your shoulders, a slightly softer gaze, a moment of genuine warmth in your heart where there might have been coolness before. These small changes accumulate, building a powerful momentum towards lasting well-being. This practice of wishing others well is a profound act of generosity, but the first beneficiary is always oneself. You are cultivating your own inner garden, ensuring that beautiful flowers of joy, peace, and compassion can blossom there. The happiness that arises from wishing others well is robust. It doesn't crumble at the first sign of trouble because it's not dependent on external validation. It's a strength cultivated from within, a quiet confidence in the goodness of your own heart. As you continue, you may find that your baseline mood begins to lift. A sense of lightness and optimism can start to permeate your days, even without specific reasons. This is the fruit of a mind consistently oriented towards goodwill and kindness. Remember the core message. True and lasting happiness arises not from self-centered pursuits, but from cultivating genuine goodwill and wishing well for all beings. This is a practice that purifies the heart and expands our capacity for joy. This wisdom, shared by the Buddha, is not just an abstract philosophy. It's a practical path to transforming your inner world. It's an invitation to discover the profound joy that comes from an open, generous, and compassionate heart. Embrace this journey of cultivating goodwill. Be patient with yourself. Celebrate the small victories. Each time you choose to wish someone well, especially when it's difficult, you are strengthening your own capacity for deep and abiding happiness. The world can often feel divisive and harsh. Your practice of wishing others well is a quiet, powerful antidote. It's a way of contributing to a more compassionate world, starting with the landscape of your own heart. True wealth is not measured in possessions, but in the richness of our inner lives. A heart full of goodwill, compassion, and joy is infinitely more valuable than any material gain. This is the treasure that wishing others well helps you to uncover within yourself. As your heart softens and opens through this practice, you may find that life's beauty reveals itself more readily. Simple moments, a sunset, a kind gesture, the laughter of a child can touch you more deeply, filling you with a quiet, appreciative joy. This path to deep happiness is always available. It requires no special equipment, no particular location, only your willingness to turn your intention towards the well-being of others, and by extension, your own. It's a freedom you can access anytime, anywhere. Let the wisdom of the Buddha inspire you. Thousands of candles can be enlightened from a single candle, and the life of the candle will not be shortened. Happiness never decreases by being shared. Your goodwill, like that candle, can spark light in yourself and others. So the invitation is simple. Begin today. In your very next interaction, or even with the next person who comes to mind, silently offer a wish for their well-being. May you be happy. Feel the subtle shift within you as you plant this seed of kindness. This practice of wishing others well is not about pretending everything is perfect. It is about choosing where to place your inner focus, choosing to cultivate warmth even amidst challenges, and understanding that your own deepest happiness is profoundly linked to this generous orientation of heart. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. What once felt like an effort transforms into a spontaneous upwelling of goodwill, a natural inclination of a heart that has discovered the profound joy of connection and compassion. This is the path to unlocking deep, sustainable happiness. Allow this simple yet profound wisdom to permeate your being. The capacity for deep happiness is not something you need to acquire. It is something to uncover within you. Wishing others well is one of the most direct and beautiful ways to do so. May you embrace this practice. May you discover for yourself the transformative power of wishing others well. And may this journey lead you to the deep, abiding happiness that is your inherent birthright, a radiant peace that shines from within. As you go about your day, carry this simple intention, to wish well. Observe how it changes your inner world, softens your interactions, and gradually unlocks the profound happiness that the Buddha and other sages have spoken of for centuries. The key is in your heart.